to, to make those crucial stops you're talking about?
I think if anybody who knows me knows I'm an analytics type guy. I enjoy the analytics, and as the game evolves and things like that, I look at stats a little differently maybe than some other people do. Points per possession, yards per possession, things along those lines. And to me, it's about the next possession, and that's I think I'm very consistent in my approach. And like I said, the keys to us, we always talk about trying to stop the run, minimizing and eliminating big plays, and creating takeaways. That's the great equalizer. Takeaways turn a bad defense to good, a good one to great, and a great one to a championship one. And as Coach said, I'm just one piece of it. Part of the reason I came here, on the interview process, went to dinner with Coach DeBoard, and I couldn't have been more impressed. And that's a guy who gets it. He understands in the days of it's not all about numbers and stats, and I think I can complement him in that way, and he can complement me in that way, and together I think we can put together winning units that'll complement and work with one another.
Bob, how are you going to evaluate what you have in terms of, are you going to go off last year's film? Are you going to go kind of a clean slate with guys and wait to see them in the spring, or how are you going to kind of go about that?
That's a good question. Both. It's funny, I look forward, recruiting's of the utmost priority right now because we only have till the signing date, but at the same time, since on the days I'm not recruiting, I plan to watch most every game. I've watched the bowl game already. Not most every game. I'll watch every game and make my own assessments. And one of the things I've done every time I've gotten a new job is reached out to each of the players and spent some time trying to develop a relationship with them. Tell me about your family. How'd you end up at Tennessee? What's important to you? Are you a good player? Can you help us win? What do you see your role? Things like that. And I think that, and also share with them my vision and how I see this working out. And then, yes, to answer your question, through winter program, through spring ball, through the summer and summer camp. We've got a long way till App State, so I'm going to take my time. I'm going to be patient. And as I said, this isn't an overhaul. This is an enhancement.
Talk about that a little bit. You mentioned how this isn't a rebuild. What's different about a rebuild? What are you looking forward to about the fact that you don't have to sort of start from scratch on this one?
The fact that it's a good team. I mean, sometimes you take a job, and you take a job because the team was 1-11 and suddenly it's a disaster. But I don't see that here. The core values are in place to be a good team. The team, like I said, I watched this team closely from a distance, I should say, go from 5-7 to 7-6 and destroy Iowa in the bowl last year. To a 9-4 team, winning their last 6 games this year, to a team that's got a tremendous amount of confidence. That I think that was really appealing to me. And so, to me, I think the thing that you got to come in, a lot of these players have had success. These coaches have great pride, and they're really good coaches. So to come in and say, well, what you're doing isn't good enough, that's not correct. I just can be a piece of that puzzle and help maybe take it to the next level, from 9 wins to 10 wins or 11 wins to Atlanta in the first Saturday in December. And I understand that's what the expectations are, and I'm excited about that. That's really part of the reason and the appeal to me.
Bob, do you normally sit in the press box, or are you on the sideline?
I've always sat in the press box, but that's, again, with this staff, that's to be determined, because I think the previous defense coordinator was on the sideline, and that was something we discussed. We literally discussed everything from how we practiced to sideline organization, just like you talked about. And it's fluid at this particular time. I think almost like you do with your players, you try to put your players in the best position to be successful. I want to put the coaches and staff in the best position to be successful. I think in the past, Willie'd been in the box and the other coaches have been on the field, and that's something that's still to be determined. And, I'm a veteran. I'm a big boy. I can figure this thing out from the field and in the box. If you have someone in the box that you can trust, certainly you see better, and it's a little more sterile environment in the box. But the advantage of being on the field is you get to look the guys in the eye. You get to make the adjustments. With tempo teams, sometimes there's a little less in the communication process as well.